My name is Meredith Zachritz, and I'm the Director of Product Management here at Journyx. Journyx offers enterprise time and equipment tracking solutions that capture usage data at the source and communicate with your ERP and accounting systems to give you accurate, up-to-date access to your lift costs and ongoing well maintenance. Today, we'll go through a specific case study with Journyx customer Chaparral Energy. So after introducing you to both companies and the general benefits Journyx solutions provide, a representative from Chaparral will walk you through the business issues that caused them to search for new solutions and how Journyx resolved those issues for them. Journyx has many years of experience delivering web-based enterprise time tracking solutions. We were the first web-based project time tracking app on the market, and we continue to innovate and provide robust enterprise solutions for tracking your time, costs, and resources. Chaparral Energy is an industry-leading exploration and production company focused on oil and gas development in the mid-continent. Their portfolio combines a unique mixture of horizontal drilling and CO2-enhanced oil recovery. Mike Pearman, a business systems analyst with Chaparral, will explain how Chaparral uses Journyx solutions to improve their business operations. Journyx offers solutions specifically tailored for oil and gas companies because we know how important controlling costs is to the industry. Accurate and timely well cost data is critical for making decisions about investments as well as monitoring your bottom line. We understand that you need to capture accurate real-time data out in the field, and we also understand that we need to make it easy. In order to meet these needs, Journyx offers a flexible enterprise solution for capturing, reviewing, approving, and distributing your labor and equipment cost data. Journyx offers both web-based and mobile phone access to capture your critical project time and equipment usage at the source. As mobile coverage improves in remote areas, it's becoming increasingly possible to automate all of your cost data collection at each well site, and then you can immediately access that data from anywhere. After the data is collected, Journyx provides automated workflows for review and approval so that all that information distributed to your other critical systems for project costing and billing is correct and accurate. So from your foreman in the field to your back office and IT staff at HQ, everyone can enter their project time quickly and easily using Journyx. Both the web and mobile interfaces for entering work and equipment time can be customized to fit your particular internal process. These sample screens here show a basic weekly grid for time entry, but others could also be required to enter start and stop times for their work, or they may even have their time entered by a third party as part of a timekeeping process on behalf of the user. In addition to the layout and process, you also control the types of select lists that appear on each person's screen. Now, Journyx provides the tools and data validation necessary to make sure that everyone enters their time accurately and on time. So each person can only access the projects he or she is assigned to, and the other time entry selections are also filtered based on that project selected. The same filters ensure equipment time is based on valid selections for the type of equipment used or perhaps the location where the equipment is located. Before any approver becomes involved, you can set up your own time entry rules that are checked when employees and contractors submit their timesheets. And they can automatically reject the sheets if they break those rules. So then the employees are able to just correct the timesheet before they're successfully submitted and reviewed by approvers. So no human intervention is required to make those corrections. In addition to entering work and equipment time, you can also give your end users the ability to track their leave time and paid time off balances, as well as any reimbursable business expenses. When employees complete and submit their timesheets, approval workflows determine the process for the time approval for each person or project. Journyx approval workflows allow you to set up as many approval levels as you need to make sure that the appropriate people review the project time, expenses, or leave. Supervisors and other managers are able to manage their time and expense approvals using approval queues and email notifications that warn users when they're late and also remind the supervisors to complete their approvals on time. In this particular screen, Organization Compliance Viewer uses color-coded icons to make it easy to keep track of who has submitted their timesheets for the period and who is late. It also provides a view of the approval status for the organization as a whole for a selected period. Now, while supervisors and project managers are waiting for the period data to be finalized and sent to other critical business systems, they can use Journyx features for running spot reports on real-time data in the system. The Journyx platform includes text-based reports that can be run directly in the browser, or report link templates for custom and graphical reporting in Excel. Both solutions include a variety of time, expense, project status, and financial report types. Journyx Report Link provides you with direct, real-time access to your Journyx data in Excel pivot tables. So you can build reports, add custom calculations, and then update that data at any time with the simple click of a button. Many of our customers use Report Link to build project cost dashboards that allow them to craft their own metrics to monitor well costs as they're incurred. And after approvals for the period are complete, the labor and equipment time is then distributed to other ERP and financial systems for project costing, joint interest billing, and payroll processing, and all the other types of information that you need to incorporate into those systems. The Journyx Professional Services team has a variety of standard and custom integration platforms that ensure that the data transfer is quick and painless. So with that introduction to what Journyx offers, I'm going to go ahead and turn the presentation over to Mike so that he can explain how Chaparral uses Journyx to manage its business operations.
Thanks, Meredith. At Chaparral, our management team had a real interest in being able to report on our field equipment usage. With the system that we had, it was really difficult to create the kind of detailed reports that management wanted to see. Prior to Journyx, our field hands filled out a time and equipment sheet where they would record the hours they worked, the equipment they used, and any expenses that they incurred. The sheets were submitted to our home office where our accounting department transcribed the data into the spreadsheet that calculated the amounts that needed to be billed. Payroll used a copy of the original sheets to transcribe the data into the payroll system. Obviously, this was a duplication of efforts, and we still didn't have the data in a form that allowed us to do the analysis of hours worked versus hours billed, or for tracking our equipment utilization rates. With Journyx, we now have our data in a form that allows us to report at a detail level on our equipment utilization and track our employees' time. We can also generate reports that support our DOT mandated reporting. We have several thousand wells, facilities, and pieces of equipment. Each one of those represents a cost center where employees may spend time working on repairs, checking conditions, or recording information on daily operations. All of those actions are entered into Journyx. Additionally, since our field hands use a variety of vehicles and equipment in the course of performing their duties, Journyx provides us with a way to record the exact amount of mileage or hours that our equipment is being used, and then retrieve that data for reporting purposes. Currently, we have about 25% of our field hands entering their daily activity directly into Journyx. The balance still use the original time and equipment sheets. The data from the time and equipment sheets is now entered directly into Journyx by our accounting staff rather than the spreadsheet that we used to use. We expect that as our ability to gather data directly from remote field location improves, the percentage of our field employees that enter their data directly into Journyx will also increase. Journyx gives us a platform to organize our data at a level of detail that allows us to do the in-depth analysis that management needs. Using Journyx has also eliminated the duplication of entering by hand the same data into two different systems. All of our time and equipment data now goes into Journyx. By using a Journyx custom report, we're able to generate an upload template in the format required by inertia for our entry into the accounting system. All the information required for calculating the amount to charge a property is stored in Journyx and is utilized by our custom report to create our inertia upload. The data can be reviewed and corrected if needed before it is uploaded. A second custom report generates an upload for ADP, our payroll system. We have linked Journyx to both inertia and ADP so that as new wells, equipment, or field hands are added to those systems, they are automatically added to Journyx. This is another example of how we've been able to eliminate the duplication of data entry into different systems. Journyx has enhanced our internal reporting capabilities, especially the ability to report on our equipment utilization at a very detailed level. Having the ability to report on both our equipment and employees at a detailed level is a great tool in helping us control costs and identifying underutilized equipment or reallocating our field assets.
Thanks, Mike. That was great. As the Chaparral use case illustrates, Journyx for Oil and Gas offers you a complete set of tools for automating the collection of your well cost data at the source. Journyx makes it easy for you to capture real-time labor and equipment usage information all in a central location so that you can immediately use that information to optimize resource allocations, make smarter investments, and increase your profits. The Journyx solution also includes seamless integrations to your other critical business systems so that you can analyze project costs, get your employees paid, as the ADP example shows, and reduce your billing cycle. As some of our customers in the industry explain, the better information from the field has allowed them to cut costs and increase their return on investment. From Crowley and Emerson to Schlumberger and BP, all of our customers are able to effectively track their labor and equipment usage in order to get a complete picture of what it costs to develop their products. For many, they can use this same information to automate their payroll process as well. The labor and equipment usage entered at the time the work occurs also provides a great audit trail for billing verification for the non-operating partners involved. If you would like to learn more about how Journyx can help you do a better job of capturing your well costs, please contact us. And now we'll go ahead and open up the floor for questions. Our first question is for me, for Journyx, and it says, you said that Journyx helps with joint interest billing. Can you explain more about this? Most of our oil and gas customers are tracking their labor and equipment in part to ensure that for every job on a specific well gets billed out to those joint interest partners. And they need to have a record of exactly what was done in order to verify the amounts that are billed. They're also grappling with the issue of how exactly that labor and equipment usage gets billed out. Generally the labor is pretty straightforward, but the equipment may be billed out, on a daily rate or a monthly rate, or it may be based on mileage and so on. So they have to capture that information in the system and then be able to run the calculations in order to come up with that billable amount. They also, like I said, need to verify the equipment locations and that the people who are actually logging time against a specific piece of equipment are at the same location, that sort of thing. So what we do is, first of all, we help to collect that initial information to be sure that you know exactly what's being done on a specific job for a specific ticket. And then we allow you to take that information, convert it into your information for an invoice, usually done in the JIB system, but we pass that information, including potentially the bill rates to your JIB system, and then that information in the Journyx system acts as verification for that invoice, so that when your joint interest partners want to review the invoices for accuracy, they can look back in the Journyx system and use those Journyx reports to see where the people and the equipment were located and when specifically they worked their time and used the equipment. So it acts as not only does it act as collection at the time that the expense is incurred, but then it also provides verification for your partners. Let's see. We have a question from Mike. What types of reports do you pull out of Journyx?
Well, in addition to the custom reports that we use for the inertia and ADP exports, we use the system reports extensively for data validation. It seems like we're constantly moving properties and equipment from one district to another or whatever, and the system reports give us a real good picture of where we have stuff located, and we can check that back against our different records that we have in different systems to make sure that everything's in sync, so that all the districts have the equipment that they're supposed to have the wells that they're supposed to have. The system reports are just a real handy tool when it comes to doing data validation. We also have another custom report that kind of ties into exactly what you were talking about, and this custom report we can use to generate a cost and hour data report by property for a specified time period. So for example, if somebody was to come in and do an audit on a particular property, we could run a report for that property and say, here's all the charges that came through Journyx that relate to company labor and equipment, and it'll have the guy's name and how much we charged and how many hours he was there and that kind of thing. So that's a real handy one. And then the other thing that I personally like to do on some of the reports that we run is to run them as a cube report, because that gives you an Excel pivot table look, which is real handy for doing analysis.
Great. We have one more question for you, Mike.
Okay.
And it's about equipment tracking and how you track equipment that varies in terms of type, like how it would be, whether it would be tracked daily or versus some distance or mileage, for example, with trucks.
Well, the way Journyx is set up, you can have different types of rates for your equipment. So for example, if you had a vehicle that you charged mileage on, you would show it as a mileage rate. The field hand would enter the miles that he drove on a particular job, and the system then would read that as mileage times whatever rate is in the system for that equipment. And the same would work if it was something that we charged out on an hourly rate. It would be set up as an hourly charge, and whoever the field hand was would enter the number of hours that he used that piece of equipment. The system would read that as an hourly charge, pick up the rate as an hourly charge, and do the calculation when we do our export. So it's pretty flexible, and it works really well in that regard.
Great. I think we just have one last question, and this one looks like it's from me. It says, do you host the software or do we install it at our company? So Journyx offers both options. We have basically cloud-based services where you host everything with us. We handle all of the data backups, security, all that sort of thing. Or you do have the option, if you have an IT department that prefers to handle all of your apps in-house, then you can download and install it on your own servers and manage it. So either one is an option, and it's just based on what works best for your particular organization. So I think that's all the questions that we have for today.